fellow booktubers, choose my September TBR. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing amazing. So today is quite a fun video. I already know what my September TBR is, and that is because I have asked 5 amazing fellow booktubers to choose a book for me to read in September. I, of course, will have all the creators named in the description box below, and I believe they should be in the thumbnail, but ultimately, I definitely think you should go and give them a follow, support them. I absolutely love their content. And also, I want to say thank you so much to the creators that picked my TBR for September, because girls, you absolutely smashed it. I have a feeling there will at least be one 5-star read in September from what I've got picked. I honestly can't wait to show you because it's a bagged lineup. I will also do the kind of special edition wheel at the end, but without further ado, let's just crack on and let me show you the 5 books I'm going to be reading in September. So these are in no particular order. I'm just going to go through the people I messaged on Instagram first as opposed to TikTok. And the first person I messaged was Jade Marie Reads. Thank you so much for choosing this. Now, Jade has absolutely picked a banger. Now, I feel like me and Jade, we do have quite similar taste. Again, I love her content. She's actually a Brit living in America, I believe, which is like, that's been a dream of mine. So I'm kind of vicariously living through Jade, but she picked one hell of a banger. And when I say, I actually squealed a little bit because I think I might have mentioned this in a video before, and that I want to read this book. But because I've literally just recently bought it, I feel like I need to get through the older books on my shelf before. You may have seen a little gap in the shelves because that is because she picked The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. This is a 5-star prediction. It is. I've heard so many raving reviews about this book. No bad reviews at all. And the fact that I get to read this in September, I get to feel what other people have felt. And it just feels quite naughty because it is quite a new release. I think I've said this before as well, but like, I don't read new releases. I just don't. And it just feels quite naughty. It does have a little gold sprayed edge. So Jade, thank you so much for picking this. I know you absolutely loved it as well. So yeah. First pick is The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. Book number 2 comes from the lovely BookTubers. I hope I'm saying that right. Could be Book Sarah, but I read it as Book Sarah, but please just let me know if I'm saying that wrong. Again, I'm going to be a broken record. I absolutely love her content. She actually reads quite a whole plethora of books, which I appreciate because I'm exactly the same. So I love to see what rec she has. She has a gorgeous edition of Lord of the Flies on her shelf, which is immediately why I followed her, because I love Lord of the Flies. It's one of my favourite classics, and essentially I just love the videos she puts out. She has picked The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein. So this was on my TBR a couple of months ago and I never got round to it. I say a couple of months ago, I think it was like October time last year, so it was quite a way away. But again, this was actually a 5-star prediction. Apparently this is very whimsical, like flowery writing, the description, not much plot, but it's definitely a vibes book, and absolutely, I can get on board with that. So I am definitely making this a priority for this month, just because it's been on my monthly TBR twice. It can't go on another monthly TBR 3 times. That's not how we roll. Once, twice, we can get on board with. 3 times, absolutely not. So this is definitely going to be read in September, and actually, I really can't wait. So thank you so much for picking this for me. Absolutely can't wait. I feel like a lot of people may have read this as well, so I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this book in the comments. But yeah, thank you so much. Now over to the ones that I messaged on TikTok. And first up, we've got Bookish Beth Reads. I absolutely adore this woman. She is doing a Jacqueline Wilson series. And when I say that, took me right back, like that is so nostalgic for me. But I've also realized I did not read as much Jacqueline Wilson as what I initially thought I read. Again, such a lovely person. She reads a lot of thrillers. She reads some literary fiction. She recently read Broken Country, absolutely love that. So I trust her recommendations as well. Beth actually chose The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. I'm actually quite excited about this because I have not started my TJ Klune journey yet. I do have The House on Cerulean Sea and also the sequel, which I think is TJ Klune's most known books, but I have not started them yet. Because everyone absolutely rants and raves about The House Across the Cerulean Sea, I'm actually quite excited to start another one of these books. So if this one doesn't hit, as much as what I would like it to. I know I've got that one to fall back on. Again, I feel like I bought this for my birthday in April, which is not too long ago. So I feel like I'm reading quite a lot of new releases and it just feels naughty. But another one that I'm excited to read. With the books that have been chosen, I just feel I'm not gonna wanna stop reading again. Like I said in my previous vlog, I feel like I'm in the opposite of a reading slump. I just cannot get enough of reading. These books are gonna help with that, I think. So Beth, thank you so much for this pick. So for book 4, I asked Jessica Faith Reads. Now I've followed her for the longest time on TikTok, and then she kind of converted to YouTube. And again, I love her content. I mean, I know I'm saying the same thing, but I have to get it off my chest, you know. She's a very heavy fantasy reader. She does read other genres, but I kind of know her as like my fantasy girly, and I think she reads dark romance. So with Jess's pick, I knew she was gonna pick a fantasy. Like I say, she's my fantasy girly. I've got so much fantasy on my bookshelf that I have not read yet, so I knew she was gonna go down that road. I did not expect her to pick a book that I recently got last week from my husband. It's in my previous vlog. But boy, am I excited for it. She chose The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Now, as you can see on the back, this is a hefty series. Apparently Jess did say that it's an unfinished series. That don't actually bother me too much. I'm not one of these people that, you know, where they say, well, I can't read this series until it's completed because I can't be on the, like, a tenterhooks, you know, with a cliffhanger. I don't feel like I'm that person because I don't actually read series back to back anyway. Like, I like to have a little breather with another book in between. So that doesn't bother me, but I am excited to start this series. Another series to add to the tracker. I like it. Jess absolutely loves this series. I trust her recommendations. A lot of the books that have not hit for me have not hit for her. A lot of books that I love, she is absolutely adored. So I feel like we have the same reading taste, and I feel like we've got another hit on our hands. So thank you so much, Jess. So the last person I messaged to pick my September TBR was Kiara. Now I feel like a lot of you may already know Kiara. I adore this woman. Like when I say, I feel like every time I watch a new video from Kiara, there is something else that we have in common. And I just love that feeling. And even though she's on the other side of the world from me, I severely feel like we are just on the same wavelength. And I love it when that happens. I absolutely love it when that happens. But she has actually picked 3 for me. She basically messaged me and said, I am gonna give you 3 options so you don't feel locked in. And I can definitely get on board with that. She's given me a little bit of choice here. So, okay, I like it. The only problem being is I desperately want to read all 3. How do I choose? So the options are We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. Now I've said I want to read this spooky season. Does September class as spooky season? I'm not too sure. It is currently in the middle of August. I am filming this early because I am having a little staycation in Scotland at the end of the month, and it is bloody boiling. And apparently the UK is going to have another heat wave in September. Therefore, I don't think I'm going to class September as spooky season this year. I know it's really upsetting because I am all for the autumn vibes. Like, I love pumpkin spice. I love seeing all like the autumnal decorations. I love it all. But I think I'm going to try my damn hardest to put this on my October TBR. So, Kiara, I know this is your favourite book ever. I thank you for picking it, but I'm going to put this one aside only because I want to read this in October. So you're definitely going to get my thoughts on this book very soon. Now, the next 2 books, and this is what I'm struggling with because I desperately want to read both. So the first one was Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I've heard incredible things about this book. Like, I've seen people annotate this to literally there is no free space in the book. Apparently it's really powerful, really impactful, and just a really loud message that should be heard. And I don't know, again, this is a 5-star prediction for me. But the other option is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Now, this series is a series that I basically gave myself a little goal of finishing 3 series. One of them was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which, spoiler alert, I have actually finished. I did read As Good as Dead in August, so that one is wrapped up. My other series was the Caraval series, which I'm seriously slacking behind on because I've only read the first book in that series. And then the last one was ACOTAR. And by me saying I want to finish ACOTAR this year, that's without the new book 6 and 7, because I wrote that list before that had a release date, and I just don't think that's fair because I want to read the whole Maas verse. So by reading this, I'm completing one of my, reading goals for the year. or by reading this, I am reading a book that I desperately want to read and I feel like it's going to be a 5-star. Because I don't feel like, as much as I absolutely love ACOTAR series, none of them have been a straight 5-star, and I don't expect that to change. So I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Kiara, you have put me in a very tricky position. What I think I'm going to do is pick a Court of Silver Flames and be very sensible and, you know, try and hit my reading goal of the year of reading the ACOTAR series, but put this in standby. And by that I mean, you know, as I said, I'm in the opposite of a reading slump. All I want to do is read. If I get through all of my TBR, I'm going to put this on standby as kind of the next book to read for that month. So I'm not essentially picking this one, but I'm just willing myself to read all of these books, so I get to pick this at the end of the month. So I'm going to put A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas as my 5th pick on my TBR, and this is going to sit provisionally in my little book basket, waiting to be read, hopefully at the end of the month. Does that sound okay? I think that sounds fair. I think so. I didn't expect her to give me 3 options, which is really kind, and I'm not complaining. So that is a wrap up of the books chosen by my fellow booktubers that I absolutely love and adore. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys have picked some absolute bangers for me, but we still need to choose my subscription book wheel spinner. So just as a reminder, they are all the books that have come via book subscriptions. So at the moment I'm on Wordy and Wild and Fairy Lou Romantasy and Adult, and I also had a couple of books given to me via a book subscription for my birthday last year, and I've also added them onto the list. So let's do a little wheel spin and see what we get. I actually can't read this as well in the viewfinder, so I don't know. Okay, this is a Fairy Loot edition, love it. So we've got The Winged Game by Sophie Kim. Look at that. I know a lot of people have had issues with this edition because apparently Fairy Loot keep doing purple special editions. Obviously, because I've just joined this to me is stunning and I just can't fault it. So I know some people might be tired of the purple theme, but me as a newbie that's just joined Fairy Loot, I'm like, oh, look at that. A little thing about me is I'm not a lover of sports romance. Now, I did read the Icebreaker series by Hannah Grace. For some odd reason, I loved it. Like, I love that series. It has a very special place in my heart, and that is about ice hockey. But for some odd reason, generally, I'm not a lover of sports romance. This book is a sports romance. So at the beginning, I was a bit like, I don't know if this is going to be for me, but we have a magical element to this book, and I think that is what's going to save it for me, and that is why I'm holding out and hoping that I do actually love this book. That is our 6/7th book on our TBR, and there we have it. They are all the books that I'm going to be reading in September, so let's do a little recap. First up, we have The Poet Empress by Chantal. Then we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein. Next we have The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. Then we've got The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Then we have A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. And I'm also just going to say Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. Provisionally, I mean, I really want to get to this, so I feel like I'm gonna try. And then finally, we've got The Winged Game by Sophie Kim. And that is a wrap on my September TBR. I just want to say thank you so much to every single person that chose a book for me. You chose absolute bangers. I have such a strong feeling that September is going to be such a solid month. If you did enjoy this video, it would mean so much to me if you could like and subscribe. I would love to have you. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of them? Tell me all your thoughts. And also, if you fancy following any of the creators that I've mentioned in this video, because they're definitely worth your time. I'd love to know what's on your TBR for September, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.